Welcome back to episode 5. Taehyung barely remember how to he get home. His body felt numb, his mind sparkling with questions. Jungkook was passing near his window when he heard the front door open. His heart stopped when he saw Taehyung standing there, his face pale, his eyes filled with emotion. Something Jungkook had feared betrayed Jungkook softly. Taehyung firmly, tell me the truth, Jungkook. Jungkook clenched his fist. This day would come. He had tried so hard to keep Taehyung safe, to keep him with him, but now there was no escape. Jungkook saying him sit down. Shaking his head, no, just tell me, Jungkook, no more lies. Jungkook took a deep breath. He looked into Taehyung's eyes, knowing that after this, nothing would be same. Jungkook low voice. That day 17 years ago, I found you. I was 10 years old. Jungkook, Taehyung's husband. Jungkook, I found it on the road. You were thrown out down the hills across the road. I took you to my doctor friend and you were taken care of there. I returned to the place where I found you that night, but no one was there. Your family member was taken to the hospital. I was all alone and found you. I took care of you. Jungkook's voice trembled slightly as he recalled that moment. Jungkook looked away, his jaw tightened, Taehyung swelled hard. Jungkook, you were just a baby, bleeding, crying all alone. Jungkook clenched his fist. Jungkook, I didn't think, I just picked you up and run. I didn't have much and was small by myself, but I knew I couldn't leave you there. Taehyung's heart pounded. Taehyung whispered, so you saved me. Jungkook let out a bitter laugh. Jungkook, I did just save you, Taehyung. I made you mine. Taehyung's breath inches. Jungkook, I took you home. I had a small place, just an abundant six. My Dr. Lee treated you, and then you forget everything. Jungkook made Taehyung's eyes. Jungkook, you lost your memories, and I never corrected you. Taehyung felt his hand shaking. Taehyung angrily, why? Why didn't you tell me? Why did you let me live a lie? Jungkook exhaled deeply. Jungkook, because I didn't know the truth back then. I was just a kid then. I had nothing, no home, no family, but suddenly I had you. Jungkook's voice softened. Jungkook, you become my family. You were mine and I was yours. And I promised myself I will never let you go. Taehyung chased edge. Taehyung, and what about my birth date? Taehyung asked. Jungkook, your birth date? Actually, it was 21st December 31st December when you first open your eyes and look at me like you just came to this world to save me, and I decided it to be your birth date. Jungkook took a deep breath before continuing. Jungkook, 4 years ago, I found out the truth. Taehyung's head snapped up. Taehyung stunned. What? Jungkook's hands trembled slightly. Jungkook, 4 years ago, I overheard a conversation about the Kim family lost son. I started digging and I found out the truth. Taehyung's eyes filled with unshed tears. Taehyung, you knew all this time. Jungkook shut his eyes, guilt washing over him. Jungkook whispering yes. Taehyung felt like the ground beneath him was crumbling. Taehyung, then why didn't you tell me? Jungkook, I had a family, my parents, my siblings, they thought I was dead, and you? Taehyung's voice cracked. Taehyung whispering, you kept me from them. Jungkook stepped forward, his eyes desperate. Jungkook, I was afraid. Jungkook, afraid if you knew you would leave me. Jungkook, and that you would go back to them and forget about me. A tear slipped down from Taehyung's cheek. Taehyung softly, Jungkook. Jungkook painfully no. Silence stretched between them. Taehyung wiped his tears and took a deep breath. Taehyung, I want to meet him. Then Jungkook's heart stopped. He knew this was coming. He had prepared himself for it, but it still felt like someone was ripping his heart apart. Taehyung took look at Jungkook with determined eyes. Taehyung, I need to meet my real family. Jungkook's fingers crawled into fist. He wanted to beg them to stay, to promise that nothing would change, but he knew it would change everything so instantly. He stood in front of the grand Kim mansion, his heart pounding in his chest, his fingers trembling as he reached for the doorbell. It was This was it. After all these years, after all the questions, he was finally home. The door opened and made gaps at the sight of him. Before Taehyung could say anything, a voice called out, Jisoo. Who is it? Jisoo, his elder sister, stepped into the doorway. The moment her eyes landed on him, she froze. Her face was pale, her lips slightly parted as she sailed her tongue softly. Nona. Jesus breathed inches, her eyes filled with tears as she stepped closer, trembling hands reaching out as if she was afraid he would disappear. Jimin has already tell everyone about the when Taehyung walk away from here. Jisoo Taehyung as single tears rolled down Taehyung's cheek. Taehyung choked up. I'm sorry. I'm home, Nona. A sob escaped her lips before she threw her arms around him. Jisoo crying, oh my god, you are alive. Her back, his chest tightening at the way she clung to him. Jisoo, Abuji, Jimin came quickly. The sound of hurried footsteps echoes in the hallway before them. Kim Namjoon and Kim Seok-jin. Taehyung's breath catch in his throat. His parents Seok-jin. Taehyung's breath catch in his throat. His parents Seok-jin gasped, covering his mouth. A tear filled his eyes. Namjoon stared at him, his entire body going rigid, his hands trembling, and then Seok-jin collapsed to his knees, sobbing. Seok-jin crying, Taehyung, my baby. Taehyung rushed forward, kneeling in front of him, his own tears falling freely. Taehyung softly, Emma. Namjoon finally moved. His strong arms wrapped around both of them, his shoulders shaking. Namjoon harshly, my son, my precious son. Taehyung brushed his face in his embarrassment. For the first time in years, he felt warmth of his real family, felt the love he had lost, and yet something inside him still felt incomplete. A few seconds later, another person ran into the room. Jimin. He skidded to a stop, his eyes going wide as he stared at Taehyung. Jimin whispering, no, this isn't real. Taehyung turned to face him, his lips trembling. Taehyung. Jimin's breath inches before he rushed forward and pulled Taehyung into a crashing hug. Jimin sobbing, you idiot, do you know how much we cried for you? How much we searched for you. You were alive this whole time. Why didn't you came back? Taehyung held onto Jimin tightly, guilt and pain washing over him. Taehyung whispering, I didn't know, Hyung. I didn't remember. Sobbed harder, Jimin. You were our baby, Taehyung. We lost you and it destroyed us. Taehyung felt his missed this love, and yet a part of his heart ached for someone else, for the man who raised him, for the man who protected him, for Jungkook. The night Taehyung sat in the childhood bedroom, staring at the ceiling. His family had asked him so many questions: Had he been who raised him, how did he survive? Taehyung had answered everything. Everything except one truth. He didn't tell them about Jungkook. He didn't tell them that Jungkook had known the truth for 4 years but never told him. Taehyung didn't tell them that he was in love with Jungkook because deep down he knew that if his family found out they would hate Jungkook, and no matter what, Taehyung couldn't let that happen because despite everything, Jungkook was still the person he loved the most and he could never hate him. Taehyung had been staying with his family for a few days now. The warmth of his parents, the teasing from Jimin and Jisoo, and the gra of Kim Manson, it was everything he had once lost. But something was missing. Someone was missing. Jungkook. Not once had Jungkook called him. Not once had Jungkook came to see him. At first, Taehyung thought maybe Jungkook was giving him space, but days passed and still nothing. No text, no calls, no visits. Taehyung found himself staring at his phone every night, just hoping he would see Jungkook's name flash on the screen, but it never did. Meanwhile, Jungkook was breaking apart. His apartment felt too big, too empty. Everything he looked, he saw Taehyung. The couch where they watched movies together, the kitchen where Jungkook made Taehyung's favorite meals, the bed where they slept in each other's arms. Now all of it felt meaningless. Jungkook wanted to see Taehyung, wanted to hear his voice, wanted to hold him, but he didn't because he had made a mistake, because he had kept the truth from Taehyung for years, and now maybe Taehyung was better off without him. Taehyung tried to distract himself. He spent time with Jimin. He listened to his father's stories. He played with Jisoo, but nothing could fill the void in his heart. One night, as he lied in his childhood bedroom, he clenched his phone to his hands. Taehyung whispering, "Why aren't you calling me, Jungkook?" His vision blurred with unshed tears. Did Jungkook not miss him? Did Jungkook not love him anymore? The thought alone made his chest tighten painfully. He wanted to go back, wanted to run into Jungkook's arms. But why? Wasn't Jungkook stopping him? Did Jungkook not want him anymore? Jungkook sat in the dimly lit apartment, a glass of whiskey untouched on the table. His fingers hovered over Taehyung's contact, but he couldn't bring himself to call because what if Taehyung was unhappy? Happy with his family? What if Taehyung didn't need him anymore? What if this was the best for the best? His chest ached at the thought, his fist clenching. Jungkook whispering, "I miss you, Taehyung," but still he didn't call because he was too afraid of the answer. To be continued. When there is maybe 2 or 3 episodes of more of this story. Hope you will enjoy it. Comment it down whatever you feel about it. See you again. Bye bye. Love you. Bye.